Jehoshaphat, what a pain in the ass. Oh my God. You literally cannot log out of OBS, old school OBS. I didn't have Streamlabs installed on this damn thing. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Bullshit. Oh, wait, you can hear me, right? Oh, no, we have to test that because I have a thing. Okay, no, we're fine. Just stop velcroing yourself to the carpet. It's hard to convince people that you're a cutting-edge scientist in the world of research when you velcro yourself to the carpet. People tend to think that's behavior unbecoming of a genius. Okay, you load. Load like you got something to do, please. Because, nope, you still do not see me. There we go. Okay. Now, I should be able to hear and see if there's any audio issues, because I've had problems with these mics in the past. I'm not terribly satisfied by this from the sound of it. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. My hair does not know what to do with itself today. I don't think it likes this hotel shampoo. It thinks it's foreign and weird. It wants its Tresemme back. My hair is very surly. It always has been very judgmental as well. It sits up there being kind of an asshole. More or less like the rest of me, really. Just I forgot how this works. Okay, give me this one. This is an awful lot of cables. Okay, because I don't need that. That's why. Okay. I should be able to get considerably more sound and considerably less noise in a moment, I think. Because the compression is really fuzzy right now. And that's just normal, really. You need that for these kinds of mics, too. You can't get close enough to them and stay close enough to them. Oh, Shreya. To do fucking dynamic sound. So you have to have them compressed because you have to wear them upon your person. But it has to be, in order for that to be useful, it has to compress so much that it picks up just background air, like. And so you get that, like there's a soft wind in the background for no reason. Which is not a problem we have on stream. Because I have two dynamic mics right up my nose. Fucking Velcro. Work with me here. I'm not getting a lot of science done right now. Like, we're an hour late and I can't get the goddamn microphones to work. I'm going to have a lot of time before the keynote speech starts. I'm leaving for the keynote speech. Okay, cross your fingers, because the mics keep my nose from bleeding? Would that were true. Right. Let's try this. Hold your breath. Moment of truth. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that's way better. Oh, yeah. That is satisfying. Because like I can hear better, but at the same time the fuzz hasn't changed at all. It's still big mono, which is annoying. Line splitters. Okay, here's the thing. Output, if you split the audio, it always splits left and right, whether you want it to or not. You can't get around that. Input, though, you split input, it's big mono. Split input is mono. Bullshit. I hate that. I have like 4 variations of ways I could hook up an input now, and I didn't even pack them. I didn't even bring them. I kind of wish I had now, because there would have been a better way to do this. But oh well. Anyway, I knew that cooking with Lampe was going to be this setup, and now I've tested it, and I know it works. And that's after the keto speech. All right, so that'll be tonight. All right. And these should be long enough for me to put the observation system back on the dock. I don't know. Maybe it should be here. I do have a charger. Okay. Yeah. We'll just put it here and hope it doesn't fall off. Everybody, which right now is Shreya and no one else, should be aware that I put up the YouTube video about what is going on and about moratorium and everything. So you should be reasonably well informed about the situation, theoretically. The mirror image thing is an issue. So this is all true. Now, let's get my work on the screen so I can see what I'm doing here. Let's put Streamlabs on this other screen so that I can hopefully see chat. In practice, that's probably not how it's really going to work. I should probably sit on a pillow or something too and push this back a little maybe. I keep wanting to get it closer. For me, that would be convenient, but it is not the best thing for the stream. Okay, and yes, preparation for my presentation. This is a file I have not opened in some time. Okay. The file version end up on Word? Because that probably means that I have it in here. It's probably better than the... Well, except that I'll have uploaded another new one for Dornsiff. It was so funny when they sent their rejection letter. They were like, "Yes, we've looked through, we've decided." Oh, I sort of figured that because it's 2 weeks into the semester and I'm not in California, so presumably. You might have let me know that you were turning me down with some alacrity. Yeah, that might have been nice. 2 months into the semester, we've decided that we don't match our... Yeah. No, I figured that out. Okay, how do I do this? Google Docs, documents of the Google. Classes, etc. No, something else. Those are the wrong ones, though. Hooray. I can... Oh, wow. I completely unhooked myself in a single fluid accident. If I tried that again 100 times, I wouldn't pull it off. Hey, check this out. We'll talk more about that. Cooking / drinking later. But that, my friends, is one of the most unusual cocktails I've ever experienced. It is a absinthe licorice liqueur cocktail with Jameson whiskey. And it's actually an interesting story because that shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't exist. And I'm shocked at how good it is. Just electrified. It might have been better without the whiskey, but it's easier for me to drink because I think that it's a little too sweet, and the whiskey all the whiskey does, because absinthe and black licorice just fucking choke out the rest of the flavors completely, that it just takes the edge off of how fucking sweet it is, because it's too sugary. But I'm one of those people that it's like, I actually, not too recently, I learned that, like the guy from How to Drink, who is known for liking his cocktails to be less sweet than most people, he drinks his cocktails way sweeter than I do. Like way sweeter. Like I don't use syrup in gin gimlets. Gin gimlets call for a lime syrup. And I didn't know that. I thought it was lime juice. I've been making them with literally no sugar at all these years. And I only recently learned that there's supposed to be sugar in them. And they do taste a little bit better with a little bit of syrup in there. Honestly, it's not worth it to have to get that, because I keep my simple syrup in a jar. I have to get the fucking jar open every time I want to use the simple syrup. And then I'm not going to put enough in there. That just feels stupid. Fighting this jar forever to finally get it open and put a teaspoon of fucking sugar in there. I found the rest of this thing while I was packing up to go, which that mug has lasted like 14 years. It's outlasted 2 of the replacements. Because they made a mug to replace it. The company did. Maverick? Is that Maverick? I think it's Maverick. And this was like the 1999 design. And they made a new one, and I had the new one, and I wore the new one out while this one was dirty. Like, I'd put this one in the wash and use the other one. And then over the years, that one wore out. And I got another replacement that was another new thing that they were doing. Because the first new one was way bigger than this. The one for the aughts was way bigger than this. And then like the 2010 version I got, and it didn't last very long either. And that one wore out as well. And this motherfucker is still going. Like this guy's just, wow. A lot of memories tied up into it too. I'd moved in with Danielle, and her sister bought it for me. Because she worked there. And she was like, this is a cheap, stupid present that'll keep him off my back. And I was like, this is fucking cool. And she was like, yeah, it was almost a joke. I kind of bought it to make fun of it. And I was like, I'm going to make the whole thing one big cocktail by putting one great big pina colada, by putting the pina colada flavored icy almost all the way up to the top, and then topping it off with rum, which I did do frequently back then, and I didn't think that was weird. Now looking back, I realized that I was probably, that's pretty close to attempted suicide. That's an unbelievable amount of liquor. It's expensive too to drink rum like that. Like, you don't. Plus the calories, my God, so much sugar. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, sociology. Yes, right. The thing that I do. Allegedly. It's weird. Why didn't it open the Google Drive? All right. Phenomenology. We're not doing that right now. We will be before too much longer. I know that the newest one's probably the one in the writing samples. Not that I changed it. I probably didn't. I'd be surprised if I did, but it will be the newest version. It might be the version they have. Should be. No, not references. Right. Step 2, bridge, lit review, fall draft, defining otherness, outline, lit review. It's not in here. Grad school materials. Okay, that's why it's in here. Copy of Bloody Price. No, this is not the newest version, because this is not a Word document. This is, that means the newest version is on here. Okay. Open. Browse. It'll be in Documents 2. Documents 1? Documents 2. In Homework. All right. Anthropology, bureaucrat. I have a folder in my computer called bureaucrat. That's because bureaucracy is crap. The administration's trying to get rid of one of the most popular courses on campus because the legislature has threatened to get rid of $40,000 or maybe even $400,000 in funding if Boise State doesn't figure out a way to get less diverse because they don't want brown people in the university. And they're just rolling over for that instead of fighting it, which, I mean, I know that I'm kind of a nasty person, but I'd fight it. I'd fight it all the way to the edge of hell and then leap off into the abyss in the darkness with my sword in my mouth and my gun in my hand. And no, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Who does? Philosophy walking. Where would I have put it? No. Internship evaluation. Sort by John Turner. It's not in this folder. It's in this one. Obviously. Now, did I do my bad? Bloody Price. That's what we're doing, right? Bloody Price? No, Bloody Price is not the most recent. Martyrdom. You want to go Martyrdom? That's the most recent. April 2019. Gotta be this one. Nope. That one's not done. It's not the final draft. This is a very me thing to be doing right now. Self-mortification. That's not the one. Self-mortification is not the one. That's the one before. This isn't the most recent either. The most recent is going to be... Look, things got real wonky, alright? It's the apocalypse. What can you do? Bloody Price. Counterfeit higher education. Empty promises. is not on here. Oh, this is ridiculous. According to my CV, yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Google. Okay. According to my CV, the most recent is Association Roundtable canceled. Teaching Estrangement. Yes, that's right. Alienation, normalized alienation, teaching estrangement, the social incompetence of higher education. Yes. Teaches people, fails to teach people because it's different. There is teaching people to fail, but that's not as ubiquitous as this is. Failing to teach comes first, and then teaching to fail is smaller, and then turning them into culture warriors to destroy their own well-being is smaller than that. But it does happen, and it's all part of the same system, and it's crazy, and it's oh man, fuck yeah, this is good shit. There's a lot of work that could still be done on it, though. It'd be a whole book. Anyway. Teaching Estrangement. There doesn't seem to be anything in here called that. Sort by, no, okay, show me the, yeah, date my Evil postmodernists. The priests of the anti-god. We got a good one. In fact, they had Republicans abandon women. Try to political justice. Banana land. Promises. Race. Nope. Not here. Neoliberalism, otherness, art, professional, lectures, university. Attacking neoliberalism. Neoliberalism in kitchens. Ontology. Neoliberal bullshit. And clickbait. Just teaching estrangement. Something tells me. Doesn't look good. Oh, we're 2 hours and 14 minutes past time, and I don't have the fucking document open. Well, it's a good thing I bothered to do this now, because if I was trying to do this during the presentation, I'd have sunk myself. Which would have been a very mean thing to do. No, not that. Not the one. Why are you doing this to me? Discord. No, stop. No, give me the scroll bar. I don't have a mouse. I can't use the scroll bar without the mouse. Where's the Here, hold this. No, not that one. This one. And take this one. Thank you. And put it here. Smurp. 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 Ah! This lens will not work for anything today or yesterday. It's been 2 days since I've gotten this lens properly set. Real annoying. Ugh. That cocktail makes everything just like weird black licorice doom for so long that parts of your tongue don't work right anymore. It's great. You can't pair it with any food. Like, well, black licorice maybe. But otherwise, it's just like you can't taste anything, fucking anything for a long time. Are you loading? You're not loading. You're just open. You're not actually doing anything. I'm wasting my time waiting on you. Okay, 7? Why do I have 7 notifications? That seems outrageous. All right. Here. I exist and I am streaming. Hello. Mysterious fourth person. Greetings. No, don't. Why are you talking about Twitter right now? Because I have to share it on Twitter. Damn it. Stupid bird app. Okay. Lamp. Lamp exists. Give me. If I, therefore, me. It's reflexive property? No, not the Pacific Sociological Association thing. The damn no, that is correct. That is correct. Weird, but correct. Okay, now give me that. And now my phone. Yes, the Bird app is on the phone. That's usually where the Bird app is. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if I have it on here. Twitter, Twitch, Twitter. Load the Bird. Shit. I should be able to log in fairly quickly. I just have to know what my Bitgrader's password is for Twitter. No, it's not an ampersand. It's an @ sign. Gmail.com. And the password is it's still wrong. What if this is the password? Boy, this is very difficult to input on a phone. But what is this? What is that? Fuck. Surely not. Okay, maybe I did forget my password. God damn it! Could not find an account with that information. Oh, well that saves time. It turns out that is not the name of the account. Not yet. Give me one more try. Horses. Don't abandon me. Don't abandon me. I promise I'm smart. I know it doesn't seem like it right now. Horses don't exist. Fuck. Yes, now I forgot the password. Where do my Twitter messages go? If it's not lampaycreative at gmail.com. That's where they go. Is that not what it's called? It's Co, isn't it? Oh, Lampay. Right, back. Co. Login. At gmail.com. It's loading. It's loading. Fuck! It still didn't work. Ha! Now it's going to send the thing. 163 messages, and it's all just Twitch trying to get money from me. That's not true. YouTube's trying to get money from me too. And All Life Fitness? Your last Twitch account, successful login. Change password. I don't know my current password. Why is this where you sent me? DNCA, I think. In dashboard strike status. That sounds fucking awful. Now if somebody decides that they are copywriting me, they can destroy me midstream for no reason, and there's no recourse, and they think it's a good thing. Well, that's horrifying news. That's the one. No. Yeah, send me this. Send me this code. Yeah. Yes, I'll enter it again, even though it sucks on a phone. This is the worst password I've ever had to enter on a phone. Like, it's a real bastard. Do it. No, I straight up don't remember. Continue. It was like, you can get hacked, did you? No. I mean, not today. Oh, we lost person number 4. Oh well, I was doing a pretty shit job. No, your phone. Never do that. Okay. This is all happening and interesting and all, but I need to post. Nope, this is interesting too. Yes, login, very, very good. People like what I have to say, although I don't like who it is that's agreeing with me because they are terrifying. At least their avatar is. That's kind of an old one. I'm surprised that you're sharing that now. How do you say things on the Bird app? This is a power I do not see. I can add languages. It is easier to add a language than it is to tweet. English. Done. I'm in. All right. Now, find the instant message. There it is. Oh, god damn it. Yes, allegedly. All right. Mostly I'm trying to get people in. So I'm trying to log into the Twitter so I can get the thing and then post the thing, and then I'm going to find a working version, and just read the working version. Assuming that this hasn't hit pay dirt, which it may have done. No, you are wrong. I need you to copy the content. Can you do that? Can you copy these contents? I need you to copy and paste the contents here. No. What you're trying to do is wrong. Stop this. You. What do you do? I can see why you would have thought that was useful, but that's not the case. It's the content. Copy. No. Stop. Copy. Yes. God, why was that so hard? Holy shit. It was like learning Kung Fu trying to get that tweet out. All right. And we're good. There we go. Okay, I have sent out the word that's occurring. Let's see if we found any documents. Pocket this, please. Did we find documents? We may have found documents. No items match. If I just search for estrangement, what does that get me? No, this was never going to work anyway. It's got to be... in here, anywhere. Fall report paper 2018. No. All right, we're just going to have to find and use a working copy. How did I send it to them? I must have been working on it on the desktop because of COVID. Because normally I'd be limiting it to this thing. I even did a lot of the work back then in the sociology department office. God, I haven't seen the inside of that office in so long. I don't even know if it still exists. It was mostly like they had these artificial walls halfway between the actual wall and a cubicle that was set up so that you could compartmentalize the space into the little areas, and that's how we had that office, the IMSRL office, and I used to use it to do work all the time. I was one of the few who did. Outside of transcription, most of the resources were given over to transcription because transcription is fucking horseshit. My God, but you get a lot of really good shit out of it. It was really, really lame trying to live with doing the work with just hey, what's that meant? It was lame trying to do the work with just notes. It's a lot easier with actual transcripts. Yeah, in here. I had to turn it in, right? So it's in here. It should be labeled as that end, so I made it. Yeah, the end, 4-1. Teaching estrangement. It says final, but it's a Word doc. It's not a, weird. Okay. Yes, teaching estrangement. And I can show this. I shall do that. How much of me do we want? No, you have failed my pay. There we go. We can stand considerably less lamp at the moment. All right, and then where's the table? Where's the table? Oh wow, I don't have it on here anymore. That's not true. I just don't remember where it is. Not where it just showed off. Game capture. Window capture can do it, right? Yes, the window capture. Hey, you have to show me the... Why are you doing this? Why is the drop-down menu up and underneath? Who has a display that works this way? No one in the history of user interfaces has ever made an error so creepous as that. I refuse to believe. Okay, I was going to say. There's no chance. There's no chance. The bowl is too shit. Okay. Why is chat way the fuck up here? Like, why is chat in the sky? They're also like super small. You should be chat size. Okay. Teaching estrangement. We can get that even bigger still. Let's go. Window. All right. Teaching estrangement. The social incompetence of neoliberal higher education. Been a long time coming. I've been waiting on this one. All right. The abstract. This will give you an idea of what it is we're trying to accomplish today. The neoliberal individualism rampant in higher education and current civilization in general undermines a well-ordered society. That sentence is fucking explosive. There's a lot of work that just that one sentence should probably be doing here, where I'm going to have to bring in like Wendy Brown, and this is probably why I didn't want to use this one as a writing sample. It's because that's a very difficult, that sentence is a nuclear fucking weapon. Students going through higher education are not supplied with those experiences necessary to be socially competent. Institutions such as universities operating under neoliberal ideology atomize and alienate people into a fractious and socially dysfunctional public. This public has no time, social awareness, political savvy, cultural competence, nor do they realize they have such a lack. Instead, they delegate social responsibility to the institutions which atomized them in the first place. Now, that sentence has some depth in it that never really gets unpacked here. But basically what that means is that people are being put in a position where they're given the belief is inculcated into them through institutions, that the institutions can and should make their choices for them, and then they wind up being like, well, I'm just a person with the freedom to make my own decisions, therefore, these various things that are difficult for me to do or to live with, it is the system's responsibility to do for me. But those things, ironically, are making the choices that are supposed to be the freedom that you are meant to possess. Now, some institution is supposed to make those choices for you. And that winds up taking place in a lot of ways I don't discuss in here, but that I did discuss online on some of the other writing that I've done. Because one of the things that happens as a consequence of this is that all of our computer programs are bullshit now. Because all of the interfacing that you used to be able to do are options and choices that you have been given by the company that provides the software for you to be able to use the software to do whatever it is that you need to do with it. But from their perspective, what they should be doing is finding a way to make the most possible positive outcome for the use of their product, which they think is going to be the way that their researchers have told them for the vast majority of users. And then they're going to take that experience and impose it by force, if necessary, on the user. So that's why you wind up with things like getting rid of certain options that people don't have a tendency to use. Well, why would you get rid of the option? It's already in there. It's already something that it has. And the reason is because people who are doing it differently might not have the experience that they have seen is going to be the maximum outcome experience for the maximum number of users. But the reason that it's important to have that sort of thing is because the people who aren't in the maximum number of users, because they're outliers, they're autistic, they're black women, they're gay, whatever it is that makes them different in some way in society that marginalizes them in the first place, that leads them to want something that is itself outlier in its expression or utilization, being taken away imposes normalcy and polices it, which isn't even what they want to do. They think that what they're doing is going to make them money. But in the long run, what it tends to do is to prevent people from being able to use their product the way that they want to, and actually lowers use of the product rather than raising it. And they try to say, okay, now that is a problem. So how they try to address it is by becoming a monopoly whenever possible, or as close to a monopoly as they can. Right, so you have Apple, who winds up with huge contracts for all of the people that they specifically work with, and you have Microsoft with huge contracts with all the people that exclusively work with them, right? And so they have this guaranteed pool of users, and then they go in and say, okay, we need to maximize the utility for the maximum number. And there's this weird fallacy that they have there where they're going to get a better outcome for it.
Schools do the same thing. Universities are trying to make people assume that they should be giving up their power to the institution. And then the institution is supposed to be using that power in order to better the outcome of the individual through the process. But instead, it just generates as much money as possible, because in our society now, we have a hard time knowing what the difference between those two things are. And there's many, many, many more layers besides that I'm going to have to leave on the table here, because it's not actually the real point of this. The real point of this is that higher education, a big part of why higher education has always been seen as important since the fucking 1600s, is because you have a society that works because the people in it are taught how to be functional members of society. And if universities are not doing that, we have a fucking problem. And they aren't. And I can prove it. So I need something else to sit on, because the cushion on this thing is not right. It's like super, super, super firm, and then like kind of small. And I am like harmed somehow by something. So I have a very peculiar set of muscles in the glute area are sore. I don't know why. Some kind of forgotten mystery butt exercises I was doing. I have no clue. Okay, so this is determined. This is a detriment to well-ordered society. Obviously, you need people to be well informed. Higher education, ethnography, neoliberalism, individualism. Okay. Students in higher education are experiencing neoliberal individualistic education. Rather than teaching the social competence that higher education offers an informed public, it is teaching students to think in comparatively dysfunctional social ways. The atomization of the individual student is taken advantage of by the university in the same way as postmodern business in general. As institutions impose their interests on individuals, the individuals are ill-prepared to deal with the education and inculcation of social awareness at the same time. This process, coupled with ongoing culture war depoliticization, leads to students falling into ideological lanes of social action limited to neoliberalism. This, in turn, means that students coming out of higher education cannot be counted upon to show the competency in politics, culture, and knowledge generation our society needs. As the trickling ideology of neoliberal individualism seeps through the life of a college student, a university's effects are insufficient to prepare them for a life of social contribution. The individualism normalized in the lives of the students teaches them to think without social consequence or watershed in mind. Instead, they must take personal responsibility for all things and are not reasonably informed about the collective side of humanity. Tools harnessed by institutions used when operating under neoliberal ideology are imposed upon students. The students are subject, for example, to mass industrial time management practices despite their individual limitations. That section is very confusing. Time. It's always time. It's always time. They will clear that up for us later. But, they haven't written their book yet. They're working on it. They're going through finalizing stages, I think. The institution gains from individuals failing to hold them responsible for hoisting temporal responsibility on the wrong shoulders. Students struggling to maintain schedules are in an inopportune position for developing social awareness or collective value from the institution. Alienation occurs as a part of the mapping of the higher education onto professional life. Students are forced to manage their time in ways which prevent them from obtaining the social experience we take for granted in the development of competent members of society. Empirically, I am using the Boise State University as an institution and the students thereof as a potentially socially competent public In this way, the observable outcomes of student ethnography, BSU policy, and the impositions of the local government reveal the theoretical implications I flesh out in this piece. For this study, I participated in the 2018 to 2019 session of the Intermountain Social Research Laboratory at Boise State University. The research cohort produced, that's not true, that was 2019 to 2020. Hmm. 2019 to 2020 session of the Intermountain Social Research Laboratory at Boise State University. Research cohort produced individual instruments, integrated them in small subgroups, and used them to perform ethnography. The interviews were an hour long. I then extrapolated meaning and indications of social scientific significance from the statements of the subjects. I analyzed them with application from the literature described below. This must have been copy and pasted. It has to have been. That's the second thing that doesn't make any sense. I report the results in this piece. Okay, so then I'm going to define a well-ordered society. Oh, I would have thought that would have been the literature review, but apparently there are quotes in it. See, there's 87, 89, 89, 87. Go up, Classroom page 8906. There's a lot in there. Simple hegemony. Do I just not have one? Did I skip it and it is above? That's an introduction, then a methods section, then well-ordered society. Yeah, there's no list of you in here. It's completely disseminated throughout the piece. I don't usually do that. There's usually a section where I'm talking about what society has done to explain it, and instead, I guess that's what the well-ordered society section is. It strikes me as odd that I chose to do it that way. Anyway, so we're going with Schutz here. I love this. Borman, 2008. I do a lot of shoots. It's shoots. I do a lot of shoots in. He comes up a lot in phenomenology and sociology, or as I tend to refer to it, the Luckman volume. Okay, so the ideal type that we propose to call the well-informed citizen, thus shortening the more correct expression, the citizen who aims at being well-informed, stands between the ideal type of the expert and that of the man of the street. On the one hand, he neither is nor aims at being possessed of expert knowledge. On the other hand, he does not acquiesce in the fundamental vagueness of a mere recipe knowledge or in the irrationality of unclarified passions and sentiments. To be well informed means to him to arrive at reasonably founded opinions in fields which, as he knows, are at least immediately of concern to him, although not upon being his purpose at hand. A well-informed citizen, as described above, can be expected to be able to make collective sense of the world. They can be expected to understand that they rely. Is that rely? Really? Rely on people in other fields for their own success, have a general understanding of experience of those fields, and act in the interests of the resulting collectivity. They can be expected to show an awareness of political, social, and cultural importance. That's not really what he's saying. He's saying that people should understand that they should be willing and able to accept that there are things beyond their level of knowledge, but that they should be capable and competent within their field of knowledge and capable of skepticism. That's pretty much what Schutz is trying to get at there. And not exactly what I'm saying. In fact, I think there was another paragraph here, and I got rid of it because I thought it was too long. And this paragraph ties into the next part better. So that's why I kept it. But I should probably have figured out a way to compromise the two paragraphs into one, because now it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it does. Ultimately, that is the result of what Schutz is saying, but it's not what Schutz is saying, right? Schutz isn't not in that. I mean, it is what Schutz is saying. It's just not in this block quote what Schutz is saying. In this block quote, Schutz is talking about people not seeking to be experts outside of their field of knowledge. And then the quote is, let's see, I mean, I'm sure it improves quality of life, GDP, etc., life expectancy, all that, because there are more people contributing in those aspects of society, medicine and now law, probably in education. But overall, I mean, it's a great opportunity to get an education. I mean, getting an education and finding some kind of education. I don't want to say enlightenment. Literally called the Enlightenment because people started getting educated. But learning more things about the world or about yourself or about a discipline. That's terrific in and of itself. That doesn't need to lead to anything else. Although I'm sure that it does, I have a more highly educated society definitely does come with other benefits. But in and of itself, that would improve quality of life for people individually. Right? So this is how this person basically agrees with Schutz. You're going to have a better society if people are better educated. That's what they think. The student does think that, right? However, when we consider the interviews, we cannot take for granted that the university is producing such outcomes. Social competence described herein is not ubiquitous, but fractal or missing entirely. 8987 and 8987. This is the same person. I feel like a lot of people don't care that much about things. But, you know, we're in a bubble. Like, I'm in a bubble at BSU where I'm surrounded by people who are passionate about educating themselves and others and having an input in politics. But so when we talk about activism in class, we talk about it mostly as a very small percentage of people that care enough about politics and outcomes to do things themselves. So I feel like I have a lot of responsibility to act personally, right? So they're saying even in school, they see how these things are individualized, and even in school, they see how it's expected to be that way, right? Like you're going to have a small number of people who actually care about things. They're surrounded by students. A few people? What the fuck? So, you know, they're not teaching them to give a shit, that's for sure. We know that from 8789. 8987. All right, we're going to read out all the quotes because the quotes are not only like how we make the money, like the quotes are what, as much as making money out of this. The quotes are what matters, though. And we're going to try and figure out what the hell is happening with my cables. I am all kinds of tangled up here. I'm going to knock over this lamp soon, too. Lamp. I will knock the lamp over. Okay. Where am I? We're going to go through the quotes because the quotes is the most important part, and then I'll figure out which quotes I want to read during the 5 minutes I think I get. And then I'll just sort of discuss basically what the opening and conclusion say. That's more or less what you do. But I need to refamiliarize myself with this piece because I haven't worked on it. Like, you work and you work and you work on this shit until you're so fucking sick of it you can't stand it anymore, and then you present on it. I haven't fucking seen this paper in a year. I didn't even know where I'd save the damn thing to. I've been trying to get into grad school, man. I got shit to do. You know? So it's been a little awkward. Anyway, here we are. Quote, there's going to be shitty situations out there. You got to learn how to live with that. Figure out how to not end up in a situation like that. Also, accountability. Personal accountability. Something that I have to say is important. It's like, I was 15 minutes late to class. Well, you can blame traffic all you want to, but you have to have some accountability yourself. It's your fault if traffic's bad? Like, actually, this person also said something about yeah, but if you come in with coffee, everybody's going to know that you've got coffee, and that's why you're late. It's like, motherfucker, you don't want me in your class if I haven't had coffee, because not only am I a surly motherfucker, I'm probably asleep. Nobody's performing under those circumstances. You know, it's just like personal responsibility. Anyway, that one's not exactly a smoking gun, but it does fit the section very well. Golob. The role of the individual in the world is, in the philosophy described by 8906, not to be a member of society, but simply an atom of experience, a society of one. The experience is to be controlled by said individual when possible, only by personal rather than social action, or else accepted despite harm or injustice. It sounds like Jesus take the wheel, except in this case, Jesus is the neoliberal ideologically dominated status quo. The phenomenon is rampant in the West today. And then I'm going to quote both Golob and Beck and Gernshen? No. They're quoting Beck and Gernshen. Ah, yes. Okay, there are 3 other quotes in here. All right, quote, networks of social relations, cultures, and adaptation, and political and economic institutions also work on global and transnational levels, according to the theories of increasing individualization. To quote Gideon's 1991, Beck 1992, 2002. The power of tradition and social structure is withering away, and individuals are claiming to influence a social system with their everyday activities, quoting Gideon's 1994. Family, class, and neighborhood have been marked as zombie categories, which still exist, but are rather being dead than alive, quoting Beck and Beck, Gernshen, 2002, 203. Close quote. Golob, 2013. Quote is in quote. It's close bracket, close parentheses, in quote. Anyway, in quote, Golob, 2013. Hello again, other or perhaps the same fifth mystery person. Then there's Saunders. God, I love Saunders. Yeah. I quote his dissertation all the time, even though I don't understand any of the math that's in it. Let's see. Where these trends flow, as they can be seen here at Boise State, they separate the individual from the world. This decategorizes the social through ideological hegemony, leaving only market values in their place, according to Borum 2004. Individuals in work and school are taught that their competence is valued through a lens of neoliberal individualization, imposing the ideology and reifying it through its testament of customers as students, which are often seen as being the same thing under neoliberalism, according to Saunders 2010. Then we do culture war depoliticization, which is not the same thing as culture war recruiting, which would be its own whole other project. But it would be a lot harder to do because you'd only be able to use, if I got the rest of the, and hell, I might even have enough. If I could get all the weird shit people said for all 3 years that I was in IMSRL in one place, and I could find and cherry pick enough of those out of there, I could do one of these just on that. But it's 3 times the volume, right, of what you'd normally get, because it's actually a very small fraction of people who are being taught to become the culture warriors themselves. It's more like there's an ad hoc kind of. I think this is what Kreider was trying to say. Dr. Kreider was trying to make me see that there's a tendency to normalize particular kinds of strike. Right, where a person is trained to fight the culture war as a reactionary against what's happening in the world around us in an extremely conservative way. But they themselves are not what you'd call a conservative, right? They're not card-carrying Republicans. They're ordinary people who have been taught that diversity is a bad word, or the feminists want to ruin everything, or that the Jews might be evil, or whatever it is, right? Like whatever one of those things they're out there participating in, they don't necessarily believe even. They're just sort of taught how to use that rhetorically, and that becomes a part of this other thing. But I'm talking about how people can actually be recruited into those ideologies, those alternative ideologies. Because the thing about neoliberalism is it can sell you anything, including other ideologies that it supposedly undermines and protects you against. Because a big part of the reason why neoliberalism is supposed to be plausible is because it's going to give you protection from the dangers of the world, terrorism, fascism, and socialism. And yet, what it ends up doing is constantly having the social order at war over rare materials, right? So you're invading third world countries for lithium and oil and shit like that. And that's not a peaceful solution. That's you sending people to die in other countries instead of having people come to you to die or to make you die, for these other things that you're afraid are going to happen. So I don't know. It makes you wonder. It certainly makes me wonder. Anyway, I think the keynote speech might even have started 3 minutes ago. Do I have that open in the window? What? This is 12 to 1 o'clock. Keynote speech. 5:15. No, I was going to say. The keynote speech was at 6. Fuck. Well, I don't think I have permission to stream this, so I'm gonna quit. I will be back after the keynote speech, which is an hour in, so I will probably be back quite soon.